Hi followers. Well, I'm going to take you inside a little known place called the lab here at LED Source. And what is the lab? Well, the lab is simply that. We test and verify certain products that come in to make sure they live up to their standards. And as you can see from these radioactive and explosive signs, it's not really all that, but it is something that we do on a regular basis, and I want to show you one of those sample tests today. So inside the lab, one of the things that we're testing right now is some of the manufacturers have started doing PAR lamps in more their traditional glass, let's call it housings. And so one of those manufacturers we have actually listed here against another manufacturer in what's called a PAR30 3000K color temperature. So I'm going to flip this camera around and you can take a look. So in this video, here on the left we have one of the new glass PARs with LEDs inside of them. Now on the box it says it's 3000K and may not show up the way we're kind of seeing it here visually with our eyes. And on this side here is another PAR30 3000K. Now if you look at the beam spreads, they're actually quite different as well. Again, it's probably a little hard to show here, but ironically the one on the left, which is the new glass PAR, seems to be glowing a little bit warmer, and in fact it looks to be a bit more like a 2700 Kelvin color temperature instead of the 3000. But what's interesting, again, you have two different manufacturers, leading manufacturers, basically saying the exact same thing on their specs, yet come across very differently. And we see this with LEDs, especially as some manufacturers might use different quality LEDs and or chips. So here we go, we're testing these out. And it's a good thing we did test them, because now we know a little bit how these two different lamps compare, especially if you're having an application where you have to, for some reason, mix different brands. It's interesting just to remember, not all brands are the same, and not all color temperatures really are the same. Here's another close look at the difference between the new PARs that are coming out. So this was more the traditional LED type PAR right here, single optic, has a bit of a maybe ceramic kind of housing, aluminum housing around it. And then these are the new glass PARs, looking more like a traditional PAR, in fact probably using the same glass housing. The difference here though, of course, is in the front of it, it's actually a plastic lens instead of a glass lens. So quite a bit different there, but I think now they've figured out how to put LEDs inside traditional housing, and that glass is coated as well, so it's a bit more shatterproof, if you wish, than probably traditional PAR lamps. But it's interesting to see where the industry is going, comparing these two types of manufacturers and how they're moving towards more the traditional look of glass, now incorporating that not only in PARs, but they're also doing it now in tubes. So it's interesting. The LED industry continues to evolve and move forward in different directions. Exciting times ahead. I'm Dean Ernst, and you're inside the lab here at LED Source. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you soon.